Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Another day in the big day in the sports world. Welcome to another broadcast of Sports Wine and Brew. We are here today once again to do it our way, as always, from a fan's perspective. We just giving it the real. So, hey, more than welcome to chime in with your comments. Please do. Always welcome, and we will try to get your opinions on air best we can. SportzKelz, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Kelz? Man, what a day, what a day. Dreary, I should say, but nevertheless, I can't believe basketball is over. We're going into the NBA season, and there's a lot of things going on. I know we're going to jump in and talk about some great hot topics and that's going around the world. I just want to kind of give a quick little debrief of our women's basketball. I would say tourney that happened back in March up until April 4th. SportzKelz Diva and Okan from New American Magazine. We traveled throughout the United States over the last couple weeks covering women's sports. And when I say women's sports was like no other, just some quick highlights. The women's Final Four, there was over 18,000 fans in the stands, especially with COVID and, that surrounded last year. They had to play kind of like in a bubble. 2020, there was no sports at all. So to be able to see fans come out, not just one day, but they came out twice, and the attendance was off the chart. The women's Final Four took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I traveled, and the city is absolutely beautiful. If you've never been before, make sure you go and check it out. We went to Paisley Park. So some of the highlights. First of all, we went to Paisley Park. It is the home of Prince. You were able to take a tour. There's 3 different types of tours that you can take, but we took the VIP 90 minutes. They lock your phone up and you kind of go through this musical journey with you. If you were an avid lover of music back in the 70s and 80s, then you would love to take this tour. For me, I didn't become a Prince fan until about almost getting out of high school. And so I didn't even really realize that Prince was even making music back in the 70s. And so you take this journey. He talks about Nikki Darling being the first back in 1985, where they started putting explicit lyric tags onto the music, and that came from Prince. Back in 1999, when he was having those issues with Warner Brothers, he wanted to be his own. He took up the sign, and what that meant for us, the emancipation of him breaking free. He did a show right there in Paisley Park on December 31st, 1991. Prince was 5'5". I think they said he wore a size 7 in a woman's shoe. He had 5 famous creators of his shoes. So you got to see his full collection of some of those pivotal events, Super Bowl, Coachella. He was the first to do the Coachella. And then you go into this main part of the building, which is almost like going to the end of the tour. And then you're able to unlock your phone and you just go into this lyricist of his music. The band is playing. You're able to take pictures. I mean, it is an absolute amazing. The tapestry, even some of the guided tours, tourists, they actually either work with Prince or they were just avid lovers or avid fans, and they're now coming back and they're telling their history and their story. And it was good to be able to just, hear from perspectives from people who actually worked around him and who he was. We knew who he was just as a musical genius, but to be able to hear from an other side perspective of what he done, for the city, as well as he changed music. And even now, here we are in 2022, when we see some of those beats and, and I call them strings with the guitar that you really see in some of the other artists that came from Prince. Then we went to Mihaha. It is a waterfall right in the middle of Minneapolis in a city park. And then I got to meet some teachers, that were a part of this literacy that the NCAA Women's Final Four actually hosts while you're in that city. They get with the school districts and they do a literacy challenge. And so they read over 52.1 million minutes. Let me say that again. 52.1 million minutes. So in some of my pictures, if you go back on SportzKelz podcast, you will be able to see the pictures of teachers and the kiddos. The first top 6 or 7 schools got to go and be a part of the tourney day there, which was at the Minnesota, convention center, and they got to do all the games, be a part of the band fest, and then they got to attend the game. So it was a great, and then you had the game itself, just to see 2 legendary coaches. And that was head coach Don Staley, and then you had head coach UConn Gino, and just to see them do their thing. But they couldn't stop the Gamecocks at all. Even from the tip-off, it was game on. And to see the players really play in a certain atmosphere, because, Paige from UConn, that was her hometown of Minneapolis, and to be able to see them rise, Aaliyah, to see them rise and to see them really take advantage of the ball and make it full court press. And that's how it was the entire game. I know just another little quick tip was ESPN had never done this, that they actually hosted the NCAA Women's Final Four on all 4 platforms. That was ESPN, ESPNU, ESPN 2, and just to be able to see that kind of broke stereotypes. A lot of the head coaches throughout the tournament said that this was Title IX's 50th anniversary, so women were really in tune to what was happening with women's sports, and it was great for me just to see women's sports really get the recognition that they really needed, the advertisement dollars. Buick was a huge contributor of advertisement dollars and pushing in and making sure that the women's Final Four was the best that it could be. They said there are still some things that, they need to do, which is now create the same atmosphere for WNBA. But, to see how it really went forth this year, I was very pleased. So, Arkell, did you watch a couple of the games, and what was your perspective?
Well, as far as the women's games this year, it was as usual. It seemed like the competitive level, was turned up a couple notches this year. As far as the smaller schools getting invited to the tournament, that really hyped things up. So I'm thinking the women's brackets right now, they're going in the right direction, but I still think they're still got them a little ways behind the men's tournament. But the flame is, getting brighter for the women's. And they, as usual, play a good aggressive game. And basically the women's games comes down to, a lot of fundamentals and running your sets. And, if you got that monster in the paint, like most of the big time schools had that were in the finals, that pretty much kind of, put you ahead of everybody else. But far as talent wise, it's growing, and it's starting to get like the men's division, where most of the talent is starting to get spread out quite a bit. It's not just really going to one pool. It's starting to get spread out all over the country, going to maybe smaller D1 schools, and all the big dogs ain't getting all the big time players. So it's going to get more interesting as time goes on.
Okay. I see Troy popping on. What's up, Troy? How are you today?
Hey, what's up, Troy?
Family.
I see. Listen.
What up,
How
y'all?
are you today?
What up? How y'all been?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
That's what's up.
I see you.
Bob, I see y'all finally got
North Carolina.
Yeah, we lost, but it's all good. I'm still gonna represent. You know how I do.
You already know.
You
We
know
don't
what
have to
I
talk
mean?
about that. Yeah,
Bob, I see Cincinnati got a practice facility in the works.
Man,
Uh-oh.
Look, it's only been 40 years in coming.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say this again. That has the potential for major disaster. Once again, hanging over the freeway ramp is not a place I want to be able to have a dome where you can't see nothing coming if it's flying over the guardrail. So good luck with that.
Y'all gotta take baby steps. It's all good, bro.
Ain't no baby steps. That need to be out in the suburbs, dude. Come on now.
It ain't gonna be. I think it's gonna be out in the suburbs.
Nah, they playing that sucker right next to the stadium with the temporary structure. I don't know about the final,
we can go down there and set up a tent and watch practice.
Yeah, that. And then if you want to mix some concrete, you can run across the street and you can mix some concrete over at the cement company.
Hey, what were y'all talking about before I came on?
Hey, we were just hitting on talking about the women's Final Four and the women's tournament period, and like what your thoughts were. I know it's been a couple weeks now, but we've been off, and it's kind of wanted to kind of revisit it because I was excited to see how women's sports period kind of evolved this year, and how a lot of the major name brand organizations and businesses like Buick was one. They really took the helm and they really did a good job. They had this hashtag called See Her Greatness. And so it was great to really see, a lot of these advertisement dollars go into women's. ESPN having it on all 4 platforms. So I wanted to see what y'all's perspective was. Were you able to catch some of the games and what you thought about it, being, showcased being shown on all the ESPN platforms in prime time this year?
I checked it out. I told y'all about South Carolina. I ain't voting. I ain't rooting against Dominique Dawes. What's her name? Don Staley. My bad. I'm tripping. Don Staley. I said Dominique Dawes. She's a gymnast. I ain't rooting against Don Staley, and it proved that's why. I knew they was gonna win that. They had the better team, I thought, the whole season. For me. You know what I mean? Hey, and it was cool to see all the women on the ESPN show, and then they had all women behind the scene too. So they had the women on the camera, they had the women, they had refs, they had everything. It was pretty dope, man. But I knew South Carolina was gonna pull it off. I'm happy for them.
And the Eagles said afterwards.
Don Staley got her back, and she got another championship. That's going to brew into a little dynasty.
You think so?
Because everybody gonna want to go play for her. She on the sidelines wearing Louis Vuitton jackets. Are you serious? Come on now.
Well, they just lost one of their big players. Just hit one of the big time freshmen. Just hit the portal, didn't they, Tanya?
Yes, and that's what we want to kind of jump in. I know we have it a part of the schedule, but I'll kind of, since Troy brought it up, let's kind of jump right into it. My question to you, RKLs and Troy, is after, even women and men's, after they win a championship or are they in a championship year, why do younger players jump back into the transfer portal?
Because they know they don't get no run. Because now it's like, what have you done for me lately? Am I going to play now or going to play later? If I'm going to play later, I'm going to get in the portal and go somewhere where I can start right now. So, it's a good and bad thing. You can take it. That's what college sports is now right now. So there's nothing you can do about it. They're going to play. That's what the portal's for. If you want to get in there and think you're going to go to a team you're going to start and try to get to the league or wherever you want to go, that's what the portal's for. And she got a good problem. Ain't nothing she can do about it. I'm sure that she'll recover. She'll be okay. I think they're going to be a dynasty for a while.
That's starting to become a trend now with a lot of these schools, that transfer portal. Like I said, I blame this on these recruiting services making these kids, stars and jumping them, 5 and 4 stars. And then when they do get into the big boy side of the court, it ain't meshing out for them right away. And all these kids nowadays, just everything's a rush. They don't want to take the time to, sharpen their craft, get that metal sharpened and do what they got to do to take that starting spot. So everybody want to run from the real thing and run to the fantasy side of it. And once you get over there, everything might work out for you a little bit. But if you do get drafted, you're going right back into the pool with the big boys. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to work out for you because you ain't sharpened your craft when you're in the younger days.
Look at the one kid who went in the portal from Ohio State. What was his name? Tate, the quarterback. He went to Miami. Didn't get no run there. Yeah. Now he went back in the portal. Now he's going to play for I think UNLV, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I ain't heard of him since. What was it? I know his last name was Tate. Y'all remember his first name?
I think it wasn't the first name Field was it Martell?
Or something. Maybe
Martell. Yeah. Martell.
Oh, okay. Remember I had
I think his first name was Field Martell, I believe. But I mean, it's just a perfect case, man. My thing is, when you selecting your school, I mean, just cause you feel allegiance, whether you at Ohio State, Michigan, wherever, just, you got to get in there, make sure. Nowadays, coaches is reeling in 2 or 3 quarterbacks. They got somebody behind you. So if you ain't really doing what you got to do in that gym, spending that extra time, hey, they're going to push you to the side. Say, hey, maybe next year going to be your year, but we got to keep this bus moving.
Yeah, like Sanaya Rivers, she was a major player this whole season for the Gamecocks. So to see her go into that transfer portal, even as a freshman, like, you got playing time. You had major playing time. And then UConn lost 4 of their major players. Regina was like, I don't care. But I think sometimes I don't think you have to care, but I think it's like, that was my question, was like, why? You were in a national championship season and you got playing time, and then you're leaving to go back into the transfer portal. And I think one of the coaches was on Twitter. He had like over 1,000 comments, because he was saying he was sick of that D1 mentality where, when you go into the D1 league and then it's almost like a bust. If you don't play the first year, it's like a bust. And he was like, he said, people, parents, coaches are forgetting about how to develop a craft. And that was my question too, is, as we, the older generation, no one wants to develop a craft. And I think that's why so many players go into the league on the next level and get hurt, because they don't develop. They don't understand what the game is. The game is not just, shooting buckets. I think a lot of them don't understand it. And so they just keep going back and forth into these transfer portals, and they're not really getting, what they really need. And then you see them on the next level.
His name was Tate Martell. My bad.
Tate Martell. So yeah,
he's battling. He's been in the portal 3 times. He's battling for a quarterback position at UNLV Running Rebels right now. If you can't get on at the Running Rebels, you
can't start there, buddy. Yeah, it's time for you to go ahead and focus on that degree. Yeah, it's time.
Go. You need to go get your degree and go to marketing and get a marketing job or something, because you think if you can't start for the fucking
go down to the casino and start
Running Rebels.
Yeah, either that or go down to the casino and start dealing blackjack. So you've been to 3 different schools and ain't cut it. You ain't been to 3 different schools and you ain't cut the rug at 3 different schools. Yeah, your game is like I said, they shoving marbles in your pockets that you can't handle. So 3 schools. Yeah.
And they said they haven't even announced him as a starting quarterback. He's competing for the starting quarterback job at UNLV. Damn. I might be able to get the quarterback job at UNLV. Shit. It's UNLV. When the last time I haven't seen them play football in a grip. When have you seen them on the field?
I know. I ain't seen him play since he left Ohio State.
Oh, when I think of UNLV, I just think of Larry Johnson and the running Rebels and Jerry Cartanian. I don't think about football.
No.
But he's from Las Vegas. That's probably why he went there.
Oh, well, he go so he can run back home and mommy can hold him at night. That's good. That's good.
Yep. And if he can't get a job there, he stinks.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Especially if you 3 times in the portal. Wow, that's a lot. And that's why I said it was just a lot.
The portal was the gift and the curse, I guess.
So Troy. So what did you think about the men's? Like North Carolina, they played a hell of a game. So what do you think was the defining factor for them, losing that game? Because they had it. What do you think?
I think that they got bit. They survived Baylor with that 25-point lead. They don't step on people's throats like they should have. They didn't step on Kansas' throat what they had the opportunity to do, and they came back and bit them. There's nothing. I don't feel bad for them at all. That's what you get. You got to, if you on their throats, you on their throats. And why they trying to keep running, keep pushing them? Y'all want to load up stuff. Y'all want to try some half court shit. It was just bad. The second half was just bad, and I knew it was going to happen. I saw it coming. You got to give it up to Coach Self too, man. He had a good plan. And he knew their weakness. He's like, you gotta let them slow it up, and we're gonna run. We're gonna attack the basket. That's what they did, and they lost. I saw it. I was like, they gonna lose this game. He letting them attack the baskets. They ain't running. They trying to set up some half court bullshit. Oh,
yeah.
Don't get me started, man. It was a mess. They had it. They lost it. They should have won. They should have learned their lesson from Baylor. They didn't learn their lesson from Baylor. It came back and bit them. We sat here and watched that game on the podcast. Remember, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, Baylor didn't cut it to 15. Baylor didn't cut it to 5. Yep. Baylor didn't tie it up.
Yeah.
They don't know how to. They do not know how to punch people in their throat when they got them. Which is why all those players is coming back. Which I'm glad they're coming back. They need to. Baycott coming back, Leaky Black coming back. They're gonna have a nice squad next year. We're gonna see what they can do next year. They should have learned their lesson. Their feelings was hurt.
Yeah, well, you gotta blame that on coaching too, Troy. If you up 14, man,
I agree.
There is no excuses. You should be getting to the rack and that free throw line, bump shooting jumpers. I don't care if you wide open, get in that paint, shoot anything from 8 to 10 feet in or get to the cup and get fouled. And defensively, if you can't handle it man-to-man, you got to switch it up a little bit, throw the other team out of rhythm. That all boiled down to coaching. So I blame that. I blame that debacle on Hubert Davis.
I 1,000% agree with you. 1,000%.
Because they had it. And then they started doing those 3 points. When they started doing those 3 points, that's the thing that when you have the lead, why do players start shooting 3-point shots from the perimeter? Why? Go to the hole.
That's when the coach got to get in their ass. That's when the coach got to call a timeout and be like, this is not what got us here. Do that on the block. Give him the ball.
Yeah.
It was a mess. It was bad. Yeah. It was a debacle.
Because they had it.
They did. But as soon as I see, hey, like I said, you gotta give it to their Kansas coach self too. You know, he had a good game plan and he knew what to do.
Especially the last 5 minutes.
They ain't been here before. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, Tanya.
The last 5 minutes. Yeah, them last 5 minutes, he switched it up and he started making them go to the hole, started going through the paint. And they started stalling, and I think they got out of rhythm. North Carolina, the Tar Heels got out of rhythm. And once they got out of rhythm, they couldn't get back. And once they got back in rhythm, you were down, 1 minute with up 6? And I was like, oh my God, this is going to go to Kansas. And just to see all the hard work.
The same thing that happened in Baylor. Baylor could have came back and just really won that game. They was up by 24 points.
Right.
You up at halftime by 15 points. Keep your
get to the bucket. That's the name of the game. Get to the bucket and get in that bonus as quick as you can and start shooting free throws. Go to the bucket,
man. Don't do that dumb shit. They was just doing. It was just.
Okay. I know. I said Troy. I know Troy is somewhere going ham. I said, "Oh my God!"
Man, it was a bad night in my family room. For sure. It was bad.
As we move forward, like going into next year, you know, what 2 teams from the women's, or I say men's, start with the men's, what 2 teams you think will be back? You know?
Well, Final Four?
Yeah, like out of the Final Four. What two teams do you think will be back out of the Final Four?
Best guess right now, shoot, it's hard to say because, you know, recruiting's still rolling on. It really depends on what your junior and senior class looking like. I mean, you know, you probably off of what Carolina did, you know, if they can kind of duct tape potholes and holes in the boat, they can probably get back in. I think Kansas, depends on what they lose. I'm not sure if anybody declared for them yet as far as who going where, but they should be back in there. And
some of those guys in Kansas are seniors.
okay, well, they
Obi
probably
Joby or whatever his name is, he's a senior.
okay. Well, they'll probably be. Well, they
They
probably
getting
gonna be got some growing to do then. So it's hard
Ricky
to say,
Martin.
Tanya, right now. You know, they always come out with that list of your top 25. You know, North Carolina will be there.
Baylor's
Kansas will be up there. Baylor will be there.
Too. Baylor's bringing back their whole squad.
Yeah.
So Houston's bringing back their squad too.
Oh yeah, well Houston to be up there. Woo. Yeah, Houston to be there. So it's gonna be. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting, but it's hard to say right now because the pillow is still a little lukewarm on who's gonna do what. So
what we should be talking is if Ohio State even gonna make it to the NIT next year. I say no. They are going to stink.
There you go. You always talking trash.
Stink. They are.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna keep 100 with you. I think it's just the coach's last year because I think they're gonna fire him after this year because they are going to be garbage.
But the crazy thing is, Troy, I was looking at the recruiting boards. They in the running for some killers.
They got the top 5 recruiting class. They in the top 5 in recruiting. They can't coach them.
I agree with you.
You got to be able to coach.
He sits over there. He does nothing.
That's why I said this is going to be his last year. You're going to have the top 5 recruiting class coming in. I don't think you're going to make it to the NIT.
Right.
Who that? I'm dead ass serious.
They're going to be talking about
the only way he's going to get off the hook is he just pretty much sit over there and play pocket ping pong and let them dudes just play street ball. That's the only way he's gonna save his season. Because if he even do try to act like he want to be a coach, I think when the wheels is gonna fall off the wagon. So he just gotta just let them dudes play street ball if he want to save his job. Just get out and go for what you know.
Your two best players are going to the league. I don't know who else you got.
And then Meechie Johnson, he just
the Brandon announced he leaving.
Oh, he's out of there. Yeah, he's gone.
Oh yeah, y'all coming in some puppy dogs. Oh yeah, that's going. Yeah, dude. If you got the top 5 class, you just gotta let them do. You just gotta do motion offense and let them dudes do what they do. If you sit there and try to play structure ball and hold their hands and try to handcuff them. Yeah, it's gonna be a long season. I would love to see it though.
They was calling for the coach's head this year.
Oh, I ain't doubting that.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna make it through next year.
I ain't doubting that. The fan base they got. Yeah, I ain't doubting that 1 minute.
People who don't know basketball, all they gonna say is, "Oh, you got the top 5 class coming in. Why are you stinking?" It takes time to get them where they want to be. And he's not that. Right. He's a coach now. Coach. He got to coach now. If he got players to coach now, you got to coach them now. Him bringing up players that are just coming in, and you got to coach him to be your boy Brandon. He was just a anomaly. He was just good. He got to go. Right. You ain't got no other players like him coming in. So
no,
they're going to see
Johnson and Meechie Johnson, he just entered the transfer portal this week also, and he was one of their,
and he's
top
one of their 100
recruits back. Yeah, and one of their best players.
They won't make the NIT.
He see the writing on the wall because he's gonna try to run them freshmen in there and try to recreate the Fab Five. Yeah, that's what he gonna try to do.
They're gonna stink.
I know.
So Tanya, you might as well get ready. You have all types of opportunity down there in the front row with your press pass or whatever, because they gonna have a whole bunch of open seats because that's gonna be an empty stadium for at least a couple of years, because they gonna stink.
That's God take it. I will take it.
What you gonna think Michigan's gonna do?
SportzKelz, you gonna be right there with it.
Oh no, sir, buddy. Oh no, we got to. I see our puppies are simmering this year. Trust me, our puppies were on simmer this year. Mr. Houston's gonna come back next season with a little bit of weight on him. Trust me, we will be just fine. Just fine.
Well, we're gonna see.
As long as Jawan don't smack nobody, I think y'all be okay.
We have a coach. Oh, stop
Long
it,
as the
Tanya.
line don't smack nobody.
That was a dude. That dude deserved to get swiped because he put his hands on that player. We ain't gonna get on that.
What the 5 fingers say to the face, as long as he don't do that, y'all good.
We ain't gonna get on that. But like I said, I think Howard's a primetime coach, and he'll get them rolling right. Even though, like I said, they're gonna be young, but I think they're gonna be more polished and more seasoned after the season they had this year, because they took it on the chin big time this year. And one guy that I was counting on, Johns, I'm glad they gave him his walking papers, so he'll be heading to some low caliber D1 school.
Oh, the point guard, he out of there?
No, the point guard. He left. We going to the pros.
The one that just transferred in?
Yeah, he out. But
he was a senior.
There was one player that's been there for a couple of years named Johns, which I thought he was going to step up and do his thing this year, which he just ain't got that moxie. So he went on ahead and hopped on the portal horse and rode on into the sunset, which I'm glad.
If you watched that Cavs game last night, that was the same thing that Carolina did when they played.
Yeah.
Cavs had that game in the bag.
Yep. And fizzled at the end.
Fizzled. They had the game in the bag. Had their big man back. He was balling.
They had it in the bag.
They blew it. They let Trae Young just go crazy on him. He had 6 points at halftime.
Yeah.
He had
Trae
6
Young.
points
I don't even know. Right. He been balling. Like, I don't know what is the grind, but listen, right now, can nobody start Trae Young? Can nobody? Nobody.
He
I don't want to talk about
that. In the background, Tanya. There we go.
What up, man?
Yeah.
He gonna make that Miami series at least interesting. They ain't gonna win it, but he'll make it interesting. Because Capella went down.
I think he can win it.
No.
Right.
They ain't gonna win that.
It's gonna be a good series. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said he'll make it interesting. Hawks ain't gonna beat Miami. That's not gonna happen.
Gooch, what's going on?
And I'm glad to be here, man. Glad y'all let me into the studio. To everyone. We got SportzKelz Diva on the microphone, and Troy and Kel, glad to be here. I did see the game last night, and I am so disappointed as a Cavs fan, but hey, man, they did good. I guess.
Not good enough.
Yeah, I know Gooch was somewhere. Like,
they had it though. I was rooting for them. They had it.
They kind of got out coached. All right. So I've been really like getting into the Cavs. They had a lot of injuries. They were like a top 14 for a minute, and a lot of injuries. But Bickerstaff kind of choked up a bit last night. Kevin Love didn't get any shots. He didn't get a lot of minutes. And he was the one dude that had veteran leadership on the floor, because it went all downhill. They started jacking up crazy shots and threes, and they looked just combobulated when it came down to it. So they're young and they wasn't quite ready.
Okay. Well, I agree with you on that, because, like I said, they was right there, man. But they couldn't stop that Trae Young, man. That Joker was, he was just throwing it up from half court and hitting number nylon.
Yeah.
You see how many times they let him just get inside the paint and shoot floaters?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, come on, bro.
See, that's one thing I fought these coaches on, man. If you got a point guard like that, man, I got to go to it like a 3-2 zone and try to box him, especially as small as he is. I would at least bring 2 to come out and get that ball out of his hands and then drop back in that zone. That's one thing the coaches don't use that zone effective enough for me in the NBA.
No, you don't, Bob. No, you don't. You need to knock him on his ass. He go into that damn paint. You need to knock him on his ass.
But I'm just saying to slow him up. If you can't slow him up for penetrating, you need to at least run a 3-2 zone just to run to shade 2 bodies at him so he can get the ball out of his hand. The quicker you get the ball out of his hand, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. Well, and then when you got a guy like that on the team, he can change the whole game by himself. And that's what he did. Overall, the team, Atlanta's really not too good. You know what I mean? I think they may win maybe 2 games in the series, but that's just gonna be because of him. He gonna have that night where they can't stop him, and he gonna will them to a win. But they're not gonna obviously they ain't gonna go very far.
No, they're not going. They ain't gonna beat Miami, and they don't even know there's. They got 2 guys that's down. They got Capella down, and they got Collins down. So they don't have no big man really.
Mm-mm. And I'm shocked.
Adebayo gonna have. He gonna do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the Cavs had the advantage on an athletic perspective. I mean, they tall, they long, they lanky. You know, you got Garland. I'm shocked they didn't. I thought they was gonna pull it out just because it was basically 1 against 4. But they had Gallinari step up, and they had some other cats throw some buckets in. But it was all Trae Young.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you got to get the ball out of his hands, man. If you can find a way, like I said, I would go to like a 3-2 and shade 2 guys on him and force him to get rid of that ball. But you got to pick him up early. You can't let him waltz up. You got to get on that dude by half court. You just can't let him come up and set the offense. I would rush 2 guys at him, make him get rid of that ball and speed, and that shot clock got to be on your side. So that's the formula I think that kind of slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, and they're going to double team him in the next series. So they got Lowry and Butler that can actually step up and double team him a little bit. So
yeah. And they're going to be physical with it.
They're both good defenders. Cavs don't have a defender like that.
Yeah,
Lowry's always been known as a good defender, and you know how Jimmy Butler is a good defender. So they can step up and double team him and pass it out of his hands and let the other team beat him. If somebody from the other team or the Hawks have a good game, then that's just what it is. That's what you'll take. But you got to double team. You got to double team. What the hell is his name? What the hell? My boy's name from the Hawks.
Who?
It's the point guard.
Yeah.
Who's point guard?
Yeah. You talking about Trae, like Troy?
Trae Young. Shit. I'm having a brain fart.
Hey,
you got to double team.
What you got in that Sports Wine and Brew Cup, buddy? It's you got you on sizzle right now.
Shit. Hey, is this you got to double team him, man. Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, come up double team him. He pass it out, and you got to let the Hawks beat you from there. And I don't have nobody else is going to do that. Gallinari, he going to hit whatever he going to hit. Bogan, Bogdanovic, he can hit whatever he can hit, but that's going to be about it.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to the NBA side here in a minute, fellas. I just want to get you guys' thoughts. So we're going to talk about 2 unfortunate tragedy. Well, I ain't going to say, well, one's a tragedy and one, was, I guess, a cause of nature. But the first one we're going to talk about is going to be Dwayne Haskins. And I don't know if everybody saw when Adam Scheffler broke the news, and a lot of people was upset with him on the insensitive comment he made about him not being able to pick up the playbook at his last 2 stops before he got to Pittsburgh. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that and see what your perspective is.
Troy, you want to go first? You got it?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. He made a mistake with his comments. He pretty much turned his death into a statistic. He shouldn't have. Like, bro, it's not about football at this time. It's about this young kid losing his life. He was 24 years old, man. You can't come in and talk about his woes in football, then put in the same sentence how he died and stuff like that, man. I heard him on the radio. He apologized to everybody in Columbus about his comments and stuff like that. But I think that dude's just, he was just insensitive, man. It was just wrong, man. He shouldn't have said that, man. He actually had, from what I was told, that he actually called the parents of Haskins and apologized too, which he definitely should have, because he pretty much linked his death with a statistic. And you can't do that, man. This boy is 24 years old, man. That was just terrible.
And Troy, to your point, man, about being insensitive, I haven't, I always go a little bit further as far as like how people broadcast and what they say. I do think, man, there's a severe level of intensity when it comes down to sports announcers and the athletes. You know what I mean? They don't see them as human beings, man, because they basically just look at them on the court playing the game, and they forget about the humanity side of it. You know what I mean? He just forgot about the man's family. He forgot feelings. He forgot about the emotions and everything. He acted like that dude had just missed a long bomb for a touchdown. You know what I mean? That's how it came across to me. And he took everything away from it. But he wasn't the worst one. It was the other dude.
The other dude was off the chain. He said like he was like living to die or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Explain that. You know, how do you even explain somebody saying something like that? So I think it's wrong. You know what I mean? And I think it's sad because it took a lot of attention off what happened to Haskins, and it put it on Schefter and that other foolish man whose name I ain't gonna even repeat. It gave them too much attention. You know what I mean?
You're right.
You know, so that part was foul. So yeah. But the good thing is this: I saw a lot of his teammates, other NFL players jump in and say this ain't cool, and I think we need to see more of that from that group because it's really a fraternity.
Yeah,
help for each other like that.
Yeah, because a lot of players, you know, like you said, was jumping in saying, man, like, look, you dead wrong on this, and this ain't the time to be worrying about, you know, what he done on the field. You know, it's about, you know, healing for his family. So that is, you know, that was just ridiculous. And I just want to know, was there any type of, was anything done as far as the network reprimanding him or anything to that degree, which I'm more than sure, as usual, it probably just pulled him into the office and 13 seconds of some lip and back out the door and get back at it and get back on the phones. That's the only thing I didn't like, how that the whole thing went down.
ESPN just gave Adam Schefter $9 million a year to do what did he do?
Right.
Last month.
He does nothing, in my opinion, to be honest with you. He does
$9 million. He gets $9 million a year to break news.
Wow.
You know it's funny, man, because what's her name? Josina. I used to love Josina. Josina told it like it is, and she had that relationship with a lot of the players. She was really getting some inside information, and I know she wouldn't have broke that story like that. I saw the way she presented hers on Twitter, but then we got that cultural stuff in there. You know what I mean? She didn't understand these people are more than athletes. Unfortunately, that's how we get viewed sometimes. You know what I mean? And that goes down with it. But to your point, he getting paid $9 million. Where's Josina at? Did she just like lose her job? I hate to not to move away from the conversation.
Oh
but
no, you good? Roll it.
I ain't seen her.
Did she move away from ESPN? What happened?
I don't know. Maybe she on Fox or something, but I have not seen her. Josina Anderson. I know exactly who you're talking about. I have not seen her.
Yeah, I haven't either. So she might have moved on to another network, man.
I think, to be honest with you, go ahead. My bad, Goose. Go ahead, bro.
When the story broke, I thought about other people who would have broke the story the right way. That's where I was going.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that Adam Schefter, I think he's arrogant as hell, man. If you listen to him, I don't like him at all. Yeah. I listen to him every week when he's on a sports show here in Columbus. He's on every Wednesday on a fan or whatever it is. He just sound arrogant, man. He just sound like his shit don't stink. For real, like I'm Adam Schefter. You listen to what I say, and he's from Michigan, so he's a Michigan guy.
That wasn't even relevant.
I expect that from him. From Michigan, acting all arrogant on this Ohio sports show, and they let that get off like that. I'm like, man, I'll be clowning his ass if I was on there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I agree with you on that arrogance thing, man. You know, I think he got that. He got that. You know, he got them ties in with them owners. So I think he kind of got that good old boy network in him. So I agree with you on that wholeheartedly.
He was arrogant. They thought that he was going to get that arrogant tweet off, and it didn't work. And people should have held him accountable, and they did.
Yeah. All right.
But you know what?
We got another in the NHL.
Go ahead, Gooch. My bad.
Go ahead, Gooch.
One thing I want to say, man. I think since we talking about Haskins, I do got to say something that I found out about him. Unfortunately, once all the story broke and got to understand the more human side of him, outside of him being an athlete, man, they were saying that he was really, really a good dude. He was. Really
I heard that.
He loved to dress, and you know, he had a really big personality as far as smiling and getting to know people and everything. And what I heard, Tomlin was really interested in grooming him, man. So he was being surrounded by some really cool people. And it's sad to see him go away like that. That's jacked up.
Yeah.
Does anybody did they ever say like why he was like trying to cross the street on the freeway? Did anybody say like what happened with that?
I heard the car ran out of gas and he ain't want to wait on AAA. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
His car his car ran out of gas. That's
what they're saying. He either ran out of gas or stopped, and whatever reason he tried to cross over the expressway, I have no idea. Now that's something I have not got clarification on. But
I haven't heard. No, there's been no clarification of why he was in the vicinity where he was at crossing the freeway. Like
I don't know. So that I don't know. We may have to bring that topic back up next week if we find something out. But that's a new one on me. I have no idea.
That's terrible, bro.
Yeah.
24 years old, bro. 24 years old. Think about that. 24 years old.
Ain't lived no side of life yet.
I have a daughter that's 27. 24 years old.
Yeah.
I could not imagine what his parents are going through, man. That is awful, bro.
Man, I knew Rob when he was 24 years old.
What'd you say?
I knew Rob when he was 24 years old. You know what I mean?
Hey, Gucci, this is a family show, Gucci. You gotta keep that to yourself.
No. I'm just saying that we just getting our life started, man. We don't even know anything. You know what I mean? Considering to where we are now, man, there's a lot of stuff that happened in between.
I mean, dude, he was just, just trying to find his way. Mm-hmm. He was just trying to find it. And then another thing is like, I always joked about him about the playbook thing and all that. But, it's just one of them things, man. You got a lot of things in your life and, it's just a lot of stuff going on. And it's just one of them things that, like, everybody got their own format of how they going to run their pro career. And these commentaries, media always, bringing you down if you ain't in the gym, all the damn time. And, that ain't everybody's bag. So that's another thing I did, was a knock on him that a lot of people put on him. But it's like I said, it's a sad situation that Scheffler had to go that route with that. But, right now it's just about giving, praise and healing to his family.
And it also keeps in perspective how young these athletes are, man. These athletes are young, man. I mean, usually they're not even 30 years old. They're 20 to 30 years old in their prime.
Mm.
You know how old we are. I mean, you know how old we are, but compared to them, they're babies. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're probably dealing with a lot. Having all these millions thrown at them and gotta, stand up and be an adult real quick. When I was 24 years old, I was not an adult. I was a wild boy. You know what I mean? I'm 1,000. Bob, I was not mature. I was not. I wasn't ready for nobody to throw millions at me at 24 years old. It's crazy, man. That these are still babies. Really, they're still babies and they're athletes. They're getting all this money thrown at them, and they got to take care of a whole family with generations of money, generational wealth. So it's wild.
Hey,
I respect them.
Man. So Odell up in Cleveland, he got he's old. And I'm like, well, how old is he? They were talking about him like he was almost 35 years old. Odell wasn't, but
yes.
And they call him an old player. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's how to athletes, man.
Yeah. It's that persona. It's that persona, man. They expect you to come into this league just cause we shoving this money in your lap. That you're supposed to be this certain type of character, and you're supposed to be already primed mentally and ready to go. And everybody ain't on that stage.
And I'm sure social media doesn't make it any better because you going on your social media page and people telling you how good you are, and people telling you how bad you are. How you not this, you not that, you suck, you stink. What? That is wild, bro.
Now, that's one thing I'm gonna tell you. If I had a son at that stage, You got to unplug that social media, dude, because that's you got to stay off of that, because that ain't gonna do nothing. But if you ain't mentally ready for that type of criticism, yeah, that's something you got to unplug and stay away from as much as possible.
But
So
you can't
that social media ruin you.
Yeah, but that social media, like Troy said, you're talking about a 24-year-old guy is gone from this earth from a decision that he made. But social media is their way of world. That's their way of life. So when you asking a kid to unplug, I was just talking to a parent yesterday, their son, and I was asking him that same question about social media. And he was like, it's frightful. He said, I was actually arguing with people, and come to find out it was 12-year-old kids behind this computer. It wasn't even grown people. You talking about kids, arguing with grown people. And when you start to realize who these kids are and go look at their pages, these are kids that are, having full-blown conversations going viral about other athletes. So I think the world has changed so much digitally that you see this type of, like I said, there's no sensitivity no more. It's just news. What's going to get breaking news? Like you said, Adam Scheffler, and then even the other sports writer that had talked about the woman that was in the car. And now the story has kind of been shelved. Like, you think about his wife. His wife found out about her husband dying on the news, breaking news. Like, I can't even imagine that. And it's like now in 2022, it's digital. Everything is fast. Who gonna get it out first? And if you're saying Adam makes $9 million, yes. And he was so insensitive. And he really, even his apology wasn't really, it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was terrible. Even after he said it was still terrible, because his thing was, it's news. It was sports news. If I'm not gonna say it, who is? He was fighting for his job, and then now he is gone from a decision where we will never really know unless this other young woman or whatever happened comes forward, or someone that knows more about the story. But his apology, even all of their apology, if you watch the Twitter, they don't care. They're just like, it's a story that needs to be talked about.
He said go to his podcast for the apology. Did y'all see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
He said his apology would be on his podcast.
He about the numbers then.
He's trying to hustle you to go pull up numbers on his podcast.
You just said it all.
For somebody's death.
Yeah, for somebody's
Terrible.
death. Because even when it came out, I was like, is he talking about news? Because you really didn't even know if it was really real, because even how he even broke the news, I was like, Dwayne Haskins died? Or is he saying he dying because he's not doing well down in Fort Lauderdale with Pittsburgh? So people really didn't understand it until 11 Warriors actually made the post, like 23 minutes later. That's when I realized, like, whoa, wait a minute, he did die. And then that's when Twitter started literally blowing up, because you already know if it ain't on Twitter, it ain't real. So that's why I was like, this is really real. And that's when all the reports started coming in through Fort Lauderdale that he passed away. I was like, oh my God. Like, wow. Like, this is a young man that was really trying to make something of himself. He went to like I said, young guys go into the league not really thinking like, am I made for this? All they see is kind of sometimes like money or like fame. They really don't understand, like, am I built for this team? Like how it was in the old days, you kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this team because this team is going to jive with who I am as a person on the field or on the court. Now people just go because I'm getting drafted, and they don't have to think about where my place is going to be. So it's like you're trying to make a place. So it was just unfortunate accident. His wife and family and people who love him and have to listen to all the rigmarole on the news and on social media, which is worse than the news.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so there was another loss of life this weekend in the NHL world. It was I don't know if anybody might know this cat, but he was a big time hockey player, Mike Bossy. He held record for 9 straight 50-goal seasons, and he's a four straight Stanley Cup champion. He played with the New York Islanders back in the late '80s, and he was drafted back in 1977 by the New York Islanders, and he played his whole career there, and he passed away at 65. So I just wanted to pass that little tidbit on. But yeah, he was a big time player. He was out of Montreal, Quebec.
I never heard of him before.
Yeah, this is what he was. He was back. He got drafted back in '77, so he was about six or seven at that time. But he was a big time player. He still holds the record for 50 goals in 9 straight seasons as an NHL player. So he was big time at his craft.
Wow.
The first hockey player I've ever heard of was the Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe. After that, I don't know nobody else.
Gordie Howe and
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah. But this cat, he was a grinder. I mean, he was basically a grinder. He wasn't no real household name, but he was one of them cats that put in work, and he was a grinder. So I just wanted to say condolences on those 2 people passing away this weekend in the sports world. And then my next thing I want to bring up is I don't know if anybody watched the Masters last weekend. Just wanted to see, give your thoughts on that. Tiger Woods, after having his major surgery, do you think he has any type of shot of breaking Jack Nicklaus's PGA major record, which stands at 18 at the moment?
No.
No. How many majors Tiger got? 14?
Got 15.
He got 15?
15.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I'll tell you this. For him to go through what he went through, the first couple of days, when Tiger plays, everybody's playing. You know what I mean? The numbers, people watch. I'm not really a golf fan, but I was, you know what I mean? And so when he came out, he was -1 the first day. But they were saying, like, because that injury to his legs and everything, he kind of did that walking over the next 3 days. And
yeah.
All played out. You know what I mean? So if you could one of another one, it's possible. From what I've done, take a lot.
Yeah. Well, your shelf life in golf, man, it's a big window. I mean, the thing's gonna come down to him. Like you said, it's gonna be the walking and how comfortable he is with walking. Because when I was watching him, it seemed like he was really struggling to be comfortable walking. You could tell he had a little limp in his step, but he pushed through it. But I think if he doesn't rush himself back and play in way too many tournaments, I think he gonna get there. I don't think it's gonna be, if he can, get one year here, because with golfer you can pretty much go up to about maybe 55 plus as a golfer. But he like it with Tiger with about 48 right now, 49, right? 40, about 47, 48. So it just depends on how he pushes himself moving forward. So if he doesn't try to overdo it, I think he'll be fine. Me personally, I think he's going to get that record, and I hope he gets that record to knock that Buckeye off the pedestal, from my point of view.
Hey, Bob, I got a golf question.
Yeah.
If you play on the senior tour and you win a tournament, does that count as a major?
It just the majors are just broken up on different, like the Open is a major, British Open. It's certain tournaments that are classified as a major. Not all tournaments are a major.
So,
just certain tournaments.
Are there any majors on the senior tour?
No.
So you can't win a major on the senior tour. Okay.
No.
Well, how old you got to be to start on the senior tour? Like how do you get on the senior tour?
Senior tour, I think once you cross over like the 50 threshold, that's when you start getting classified.
So in a few years,
but you can still qualify. But that just automatically qualifies you for the majors. You'll jump straight into the majors, qualification for the majors. But like I said, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. But I think if he paced himself, I think he'll be fine. I think he will eclipse that record.
Well, from me playing those couple of times with golf, that game is hard, bro.
Yeah.
And because I thought I was going out there because I was an athlete and I can do most things as an athlete. That game humbles you.
Oh yeah.
You can't just go out there because you think you're an athlete and swing that ball.
Mm-mm.
And Bob, you saw how bad I was.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yes. It was. Yes.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine him on a bad leg and he's still hanging.
Because you got to walk
in tournament, and because he got to walk, and he almost lost his leg, correct?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they were talking about amputating.
So I got to only imagine how hard that is, and it was hard for me just trying to hit the ball to the next hole. So just imagine how.
I mean, that's a physical sport, man. We were riding in the cart, so now you imagine if you had to lug them clubs around for 18 holes. I'll be wore out someday, and I'm riding in the cart when I play 18. That sun beating down on you like you out in the desert on some days. Hey, golf ain't no joke, man. A lot of people, underestimate golf ain't no joke. Like you said,
that shit humbled me real quick.
Yeah.
Troy, you ain't telling the story. We was last year. They did a event, walking into blessings at an event, and we was in the cart. Like Boss said, I was in a cart, and me and Councilwoman, we had to walk them 18 holes. Listen, I was done. Like my legs was hurting so bad. Like, and I was just on like hole 6, and I was in the cart, like getting out, hitting the ball, getting back in the car. I was like, never. I was like, this story, like you said, it will humble you about just the physicality of them holding those, even just holding your golf bag, how heavy the bag is itself. And then you're going to put the golfing clubs in it. Oh yeah. I was like, listen,
Tanya, you was able to hit the ball, right? You was able to hit the ball?
I mean, I hit the ball, but even just to hitting it, like I was out of breath walking from hole to hole. I was out of breath.
Tanya, I couldn't even hit the damn ball. At least you was able to hit the ball. I couldn't hit the ball. They stopped counting my score.
Hey, so I thought Bob could golf a little bit, and right now I'm top golf champion. That dude got his own problem, but I don't know. Was an athlete, that person, was real person. He had, I wasn't talking about nothing, but he didn't hit the ball too much.
We'll get back at it, Goose. Trust me. We will get that rematch. We gonna get. When we get it, buddy, I'm gonna put the saddle on you and ride you like a fresh little Bronco. We gonna get that. We gonna get that rematch. All right, fellas. Now, this is one topic right here that I really been keeping an eye on this because this is about to get out of control. Now, I don't know if you guys heard, this was a couple weeks ago, and I should have brought this up when it was kind of bubbling. It's a transgender by the name of Leah Thomas is at the University of Pennsylvania. Is on the swim team. So on the swim team, transgender. She started off on the men's team, and on the men's team, he didn't do too bad. He came in, finished, first, maybe as first, third. He wasn't too bad as a swimmer, and qualifying in certain events. So in 2019, he decided that he wanted to come out the closet. So he decided to, do the hormone replacement therapy, which he, started to, I guess that they qualified it as you losing muscle mass and strength. So due to COVID, they had to sit out the 2020 season. He went through all the protocols with the standards of the NCAA, which I don't agree with this, not one bit. So he ended up qualifying as a swimmer in the women's competition. So he was shattering records left and right that year. He qualified as a women's swimmer. And as the season went on, he finished 5th in a pre-qualification in the 200 freestyle, which had to have him qualify for the national championship. So he ended up qualifying for the Division One freestyle swimming the 2022 for national championship, and he won. He won. Well, I should say she won the national championship. And there's been a big debate about this. While they were doing this, before he went, he had, started a petition to submit so he could qualify for this. So the petition went through. The NCAA granted him, went to national championship, so he won first place in the 500-yard freestyle. So my question is to you, should this have been done? Should he been able to swim? Should he been in the pool by himself or swimming with other transgender swimmers? Because to me, you got to Google this, man. He was up on that podium, and they do the champion, first and second and third place. Man, he looked like the Hulk out there compared to the women. And I don't care how much hormonal therapy you take, you naturally come in the door as a man. There's no taking that size and that strength away. I don't care what you're doing. So I just want to get you guys thought on this, because I'm appalled by this. The NCAA letting this go through.
Now, are we still talking barbershop talk?
Oh, of course.
We can keep it real.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hell no. He should not have been able to compete. He should not have been able to compete with women. He pretty much Joanna man. So basically, I can just go play with the girls at hockey in college because I changed my name up.
Well, he went to the protocol. That's like I told you last week. That's like me, you, Goose, Neil, and Dave. We go find a school to go to. We gonna call ourselves the Fab Five Females. Come on, man.
50 years old. Back in the day, it's different for us from how we talk about what's going on in society now. They won't like the way I really would kick it. So to be nice, I would say, hell no. He should not be able to compete with the women, because what kind of bag is this opening for people in the future as far as you being able to compete with people that you weren't born as that gender?
I agree with you.
I don't know how that works. Is there rules? Did I miss the rules?
They said he petitioned. He qualified through doing everything through the replacement hormone therapy, and he was good.
How is that possible? You're still a man.
Yes. Like I said, when you get a chance, Google Leela Thompson, him standing up there at that podium. He looked like the Hulk up there with two Bruce Banners standing next to him. That's how small them girls look compared to him.
See, Kelz, you nailed it. You nailed it. He can take all the hormones he wants. You know what I mean? His muscles is still man. Everything
he's still a man.
His hormones and what he feel inside might be a little bit different. Heck, I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't know what the hormones do. I guess it's supposed to mess with your testosterone, whatever. His muscles is man, and everything else is man. I don't care. And we naturally stronger than women. It ain't cool. In my day, hell boys, it ain't cool. Get to go and play ball. Hey man, just imagine right now, at 50 years old, if we all got five together, like you said, and went to a high school and played against their best team, we gonna beat them. Because I'm moving everybody out the paint. They can't get with that stuff, man.
At 50 years old, we could beat a starting five college team, probably. Division III college. I wouldn't say Division I. Division III college.
I play with some of the Division I girls. Look, we ain't doing that. I don't even want this to get out to them. Hey, listen, you playing the ball.
I bet you, me, you, Bob, and Cyberdog, and we can get one more and go to like a Division III college. I bet you we could hang with them for sure. It ain't gonna get out of hand.
Easily. But I'm putting everybody out the paint.
But yeah, man,
But you know what, man? That's really foul because you're taking away somebody else's opportunity.
Yes.
Them ladies and put all that hard work in. They in there lifting weights, and they running and they training, but they can't never match that strength, and that's why it's dirty. I don't think it's good.
But see, the kicker is another story I was reading. This guy got arrested, transgender. Throw him into the male population. He in there hooping and hollering, I can't get my hormone treatment. The men beat me up. I mean, now, but the prison system, you throwing him, you treating him like a man. So, I mean, so come on now, y'all. Something got to be done on this subject because this is gonna get out of hand. I just can't wait for that first basketball player. That's the one I'm waiting on. The first transgender basketball player that want to go play at the women at the college level. That's the one I'm waiting on. That's the one I'm waiting on.
They're dunking on folks, posterizing folks, man. That's gonna be pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. Even though, man, I ain't got nothing against you. You know, if that's your thing, then hey. But there has to be a certain standard. If you transgender, then there has to be just a certain division for for that type of sports level. I mean, everybody got to be transgender. If you want to compete, then that's fine. But if you can't compete against the women because you classifying yourself as a woman. Because like you said, the physicality is off the chart. Even though they say this, I was reading this, the hormone replacement therapy is supposed to take away your muscle mass. And no, that dude was up there. I'm telling you, he looked like the Hulk standing up there.
So, hey, Kel, so even if, let's look at it from this perspective. If there was a woman who went and trained all day long, and they do, how come we ain't seen none of them out here dunking and doing 360s and doing all the stuff that men can do on the court? You know what I mean? They can't. Look, so far it ain't possible. I'm not saying
a couple of them dunking, but it's just the one hand. It ain't you going up double clutching or nothing like that. But yeah, man, the NCAA. I done said it for years. They got to be disbanded because that NCAA they are horrible. They are just, this is just piss poor on their behalf and not.
So you mean to tell me that so there is women wrestling, correct?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
College level? I don't think so.
I think there is women's wrestling. So I could say that I'm transgender and go wrestle with the women, and you know that I'm stronger than them. That's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, if you follow their protocol like Leela Thomas did, then you the big dog on the hill, probably more than likely.
So what about boxing? How far are they gonna go with this? What about boxing? What about UFC?
That's what I'm saying,
right.
Man. Somebody got to step in and get some regulations on this. If you want to be transgender, then that should be only who you can compete against.
The rules are simple. The rules are simple. If you were born male, you can't compete with females, even if you are transgender.
That's true.
That's how I feel. Yeah. I mean, that's just A, B, C, D. Yeah. 1 + 1 is 2. If you were born male, no matter what happens after you were born male, you still have the genetic, the traits that are a male in your body to grow muscle to outcompete women. You can't do that.
Well,
that should be the rules. I don't know why is that not the rules? That's what I'm confused about. Who makes up these rules? Is this a state by state? It's not national. It's not Supreme Court.
Nobody has stepped up to the plate, far as I know, to do any type of regulations on this. So sooner or later, like I said, once that first transgender person try to, either try to get into the WNBA or college basketball, then we're gonna head to then it's gonna become a court thing. So that's gonna be the next thing. It's gonna become a court thing. Then a judge is gonna regulate it on what the proceedings gonna be. But somebody need to jump in on this. This is gonna get muddy real, in my personal opinion, real quick.
Yep.
So if I wanted to relive out all my dreams as a 20-year-old, I'd just be like, hey, I'm about to go to USC and kick some ass.
Yeah, you just gotta reclassify yourself. I
I
mean,
would
you
reclassify myself
just
as
got to do it the right way. If you do it the right way, what's going to stop you?
Hey, Bob, but you guys remember, man, there was a young lady who ran in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said
Yeah.
she tested with too much testosterone.
Disqualified.
And I don't know whether she was transgender. I believe
She was transgender. I remember that. She was transgender. Disqualified.
Okay.
Disqualified.
She got disqualified?
Yep.
She qualified. Oh, yeah. And it was like, nah, you can't.
Yep. Yep. So, like I said, this one's gonna be a sticky subject moving forward. So I just can't wait for that first one. I can't wait for that first one. All right, so let's get to these NBA playoffs, fellas. So we already talked about the play-in game. So what's your thoughts on the games that's on the docket for the day? So I think we got the Mavericks and the Jazz is first up today. And I think Luka's out due to with a calf strain.
Yeah, Luka's out.
Oh, Luka's out.
And maybe the next game.
Yeah, so I think the Jazz might slide in and take that one.
I think so. Actually, right now it's 45-43 Jazz.
Okay. So later tonight,
the
I think
game I'm going to see is Denver and Golden State. That's
that's that. Now, I think that's going to be a series. I really think that's going to be a series because I don't think they saying old
Steph's coming back tonight.
So Steph is supposed to be coming back, but I think that's going to be a series. I think that's going to ride on Klay Thompson's shoulders. What he going to do? I think that's going to come down to how he perform. And then my other one is going to be the Grizzly Bears, the Grizzly Bears, and the Timberwolves.
I want the Timberwolves to win.
You just say?
I want the Timberwolves to win because I want another party. I want them fools to party, dog. I want them to have a parade for just for winning one freaking game. I want them to go all in. Pat's definitely gonna be crying.
It seems like that for every game with them right now.
Right.
They celebrating victories like it's their last season.
Hey, well, I'm looking forward to that matchup with Crazy Man for the Wolves and John Morant because I'm gonna sit and watch that series. Crazy Man, what's his name? Little guard. Yeah, that is a matchup I want to see.
What's the seed on it? Is it a 2-7 or is it a 1-8? What is it?
Let me see. Hold on.
Memphis is number 2 seed.
Okay, Memphis
is a 2 seed?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Hey, Memphis might be a problem for a lot of people, but we'll see. This job first playoff. We'll see how he come out, how he shake out. Some cats get a little nervous in the playoffs.
It's their second playoff. They made the playoffs last year too.
Hey,
he might be ready.
Well, after that comment he made the other day, he was like, "Look, we in the chimney. We ain't running from the fire. We running up the chimney. So that we ain't scared of nobody." He said, "So whoever it is," he said, "we ain't got no punks on our squad. So whoever we rolling with, let's do it."
And Memphis has been like 19 or 20-2 without John Morant.
Yeah.
So now he's back in the lineup, and anybody on their squad can put up 20. Anybody on their starting 5 can put up 20. So they are actually going to be a problem.
So I got a question real quick. So the NBA, look, man, the NBA is in the transition phase. I said this a few weeks ago. It's got he needs this to become the next face of the league. He has to win a couple series here to become a face of the league. Because he is that explosive cat. He the dude that everybody gonna tune in. He's Showtime. You know what I mean? He gotta win.
Yeah, but like I said about him a couple weeks ago, before he went out, I said, man, that all the jumping he doing, man, is going to affect them knees. And sure enough, he had a couple where he didn't, the knees was on fire. So that's the only thing I'm worried about him, man, that, he got that light frame and, doing all that jumping, man, that take a toll on you after a while.
Yeah, well, he gotta expand his game, though. He got a really nice, consistent shot, man. Because he ain't gonna job like that all the time.
Yeah, that's
what they did to LeBron when they played San Antonio that year. They dared that dude to shoot. They was like, "Oh no, man, go ahead, you can have all that." And you got to get him a shot.
I agree with it. So, what y'all thoughts on the 7-7? Go ahead, Neil.
I think they're gonna make it through Minnesota. I want to see him going up against Chris Paul. Because everybody knows Chris Paul will get up under your skin. But he can keep his head. He can keep his head. I've got just as long as Ja keeps his head and know that Chris is trying to get into his head and stop him out of his game or get him out of his game. I think that Memphis can beat the Suns also. I do. Don't sleep on old man Adams down there, the strongest man in the league. Don't sleep on Jackson down there. They got boys down there in the block to match up with the Suns. Okay. And they got 3 guys on the perimeter that can play D on Devin Booker. So if Ja can get off with Chris Paul without him getting caught up in Chris Paul's game.
Well, he gonna get tested. He gonna get tested with Timberwolves because your boy gonna be trying to drive him crazy.
Yeah, but still, Pat Bev can drive him crazy as much as he wants. But Ja can also drop 30 on him. So he can't just sit in there on the court. They're going to have to bring somebody else in there. They're going to eventually have to switch on him with D'Angelo Russell. And that's going to be a problem, too. D'Angelo actually is probably the better defender than Patrick Beverly. But they're going to have Patrick Beverly on him because they know that he's like a mosquito. So the reason why it's a good test, Minnesota is the perfect test until they get to the Suns. After he gets to the Suns and go up against Chris Paul's BS, they could beat him. They could beat them, man. They could beat the Suns.
All right,
everybody on the side, just think. Everybody on Memphis' team, anybody on there could drop 20 a night. Even old man Adams. So
we gonna
they already was battle tested last year. They went to the playoffs last year. This should have been a test for them. I ain't worried about Minnesota. I'm just worried about him going against Chris Paul.
All right, what about 76ers and the Raptors?
You can't sleep on the Raptors either, because when you go to Toronto, if you ain't vaccinated, you can't play.
Yeah.
Thibault can't play. He's the best defender, one of the best defenders in the league. He can't play.
They still over. They still over.
Go ahead.
Embiid the truth.
Yeah.
MVP. So I see that series going 4-1.
4-1. Okay.
4-1.
All right, then next one, Bucks and the Bulls. Now I think this is gonna be a nice little series to watch.
It's gonna be a sleeper.
Yep.
I think this is gonna be I think this is gonna be a physical game. I think there's gonna be a lot of hard fouls in this one. And I think Antetokounmpo gonna have a he gonna get to the line a lot in this game because they're gonna be trying to knock his head off.
Yeah, because they don't have nobody on his team. Their team is gonna be able to stop him going to the block.
Yeah, they're gonna try to knock his head off.
Nobody.
But the most intriguing one for me, I think is gonna be come down to who gonna push it to the max is going to be Boston and the Nets. This is one I'm really, really, really going to want to. I'm going to sit down and watch this one because I think Boston going to slide. I think Boston can slide them. I really do. I think Boston can slide
them. I think Boston going to beat them.
Can get them.
Yeah, I think Boston going to get them.
Kyrie is not going to be able to put up them numbers he did against Garland, against Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a premier defender. He's not going to be able to do that. And they know each other. They played on the same team for a few years. So they're not. It's not going to go down like that. It's going to come between Tatum and Durant. And I don't know who's going to match up with him. I don't know I don't know if it's going to be Brown on Durant. I don't know if it's going to be Tatum on Durant.
Well,
but that's not going to be just a walk in the park for Durant either.
And
that's why Durant was so mad this week when Brown was like, we gonna Robert Williams is out, so we gonna go into the we gonna go into the hole and we gonna be able to attack the block. Durant was like, you can't say that. They still got Horford down there, they still got Theus down there, and you ain't gonna be the one have to put up these numbers. I'm gonna have to put up these numbers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't be up here talking and shit about what we gonna do and what we shouldn't do. And it's cool for you to say that, but don't be putting batteries in their back saying what y'all gonna do already. and you go into their place, I think Boston gonna beat them.
What you got on the Gooch?
Well, hey, I agree with Troy. The doggone Nets, they whole Achilles heel this whole season. They don't play defense. You ain't get to the playoffs and not play defense. And here the crazy part about the Celtics. All them cats can score. Brown can score. You know what I mean? They got some dudes that's coming off the bench that can score. Tatum can go, man. You're gonna have to stop somebody. So I'm taking Celtics. I'm taking the Celtics, and I think it's going 7.
Okay.
You know who the Nets' best defender ain't even playing. His back hurt. He's sitting on the bench.
Who is that?
That's who.
Don't even say it.
Ben Simmons. He's the best defender. He's their best defender.
That
I
dude.
mean, say what you want. I'm not saying that. Say what you want. He is their best defender. He ain't even playing.
I can't wait the next week when we talk about when this thing starts shaking out, because Harden played the heck out of him.
Harden said he ain't under no pressure right now. He said that he got no pressure on his back. He's crazy.
Kyrie around here doing what the hell he wants to do. He was like, and I'm getting the hell out of it.
That dude, man. I ain't got nothing to say on Kyrie. All right, fellas. So since we didn't got to we're gonna do what this week. So who do you think got the most pressure on them to get that nugget on their little knuckles? So who you got? Harden and Embiid for the Sixers, Irving for the Nets. We got Mitchell for the Jazz. We got Paul for the Suns, Luka for the Mavericks, Butler for the Heat, and Tatum for the Celtics. Who the one you think got the biggest lump of sack of coal on their back right now for the championship?
Harden and Embiid, that's easy.
Harden and Embiid?
That's easy. Neither one of them have rings.
Okay.
He forced his way out of Brooklyn to be in this situation. Harden and Embiid.
Okay. Who you got, Gooch?
Chris Paul first. And my second person is KD.
KD. Okay.
I'll tell you why. KD ain't did crap since he stacked his team against the Cavaliers, and it's bad karma for him. He can't win unless he on a stacked team. I hope he don't win.
Hey, well, I agree with you on the Harden Embiid. I'm gonna have to put. I agree with Gooch. I'm gonna put Chris Paul number 1 because even though he irks my motherfucking nerves, but I think he got the most heat on him right now because he another one that's always coming up with these little crazy injuries, and then he'll stumble back in when the playoffs roll around and try to be the glory hog. So I think he got a lot of heat on his back. And the Nets is going to be the Nets and the 76ers are tied for second place in my book on this one. So I'm going with them top 2.
Embiid, if he's probably going, I don't think he's going to be the MVP, but he already won a scoring championship.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be MVP either. I think that's going out to Denver.
No, that's Jokic all day.
Yeah, and Jokic with Nuggets.
Jokic.
Yes. Yeah, that's where that's going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
that dude is 7'1", almost leading the lead in assists. Bro, are you serious? Yes.
Okay.
And I think they're going. to give Golden State all they can handle.
Oh yeah, Golden State. There ain't gonna be no pushover game for Golden State. I think that's gonna go to. I think that's gonna go to the max.
But to be honest with you, the biggest news ain't in the playoffs. The biggest news is when Magic Johnson said, "LeBron, it's your fault that the Lakers ain't where they at because y'all, and I already knew this, y'all could have had DeRozan. You wanted Westbrook."
Yep.
He was sure.
Well, speaking of the boys in Tinseltown, who do you think is going to be the next man at the helm? Right now, they looking at Sam Cassell, Mark Jackson. I don't know how the hell Doc Rivers' name got tossed into it. Then they're talking about Quinn Snyder and 2 Laker assistants, Phil Handy and David Fizdale. I don't know who the hell that is, but
Fizdale's Memphis's bench, and he was on New York's bench. They also said Juwan Howard is a candidate.
Well, Juwan already scratched it off the list. He's staying at Michigan coaching his boys, so he said he ain't going nowhere.
Hey, Fizz can coach, man. Fizz can coach. Who's most deserving? Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson?
Yep.
Yeah, well, your boy LeBron already said he would love for that to fall into place, but I don't think that would fit in well with his player coach mentality, because I don't think Mark going for that bullshit. He be trying to run on the sideline.
Who, Mark Jackson?
Yeah.
Brian don't have no Brian ain't got no level.
Mark Jackson ain't gonna get the job just because of what Mark Jackson said about LeBron's wife.
Oh. What'd he say?
You remember?
Oh.
Remember, he was like, he was like, I ain't mad at LeBron. Savannah, I would give it to her too. Remember he said that on the broadcast? You remember he said that on the broadcast? That's because you forget, he be up there on the court drinking. Hey, Mark Jackson was like, I ain't mad at LeBron, and Savannah, I'll give it to her too. I'll text it. I'll put it in the group text.
Hey.
I'll send it.
Well,
Mark Jackson not getting that job.
Can't reach over the score table and slap him. So,
boy, these dudes just went rogue.
I will put it in the group text so y'all can hear in full. Trust me.
Man, that's crazy.
Mark Jackson pretty much said on national TV, yeah, I'll give it to her.
Hey, well,
be careful, because I don't think LeBron will smack somebody. I think LeBron straight out jaw jacking folks to talk about his fight. I don't think he wants that.
Hey, well, he already said if Mark Jackson get that gig, he give it the stamp of approval. So I guess he didn't forgive him for his comments.
Take Jawan off the list. Take Mark Jackson off the list. Who else was on the list?
Say Doc Rivers, Quinn Snyder,
Did you say Quinn Snyder?
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder, who coached the Jazz?
Yeah, that's what they said.
What?
That's who they. Yeah.
They in the playoffs. What they talking about firing him or something?
Man, you know, man. Come on, Lakers want you. They gonna get you. Come on now.
Right. I think Fizz is probably the
Yeah, now if they want you, they gonna get you.
They could have had Ty Lue. They didn't want him. That was dumb.
The man
that
wanted
was dumb.
Like, hey, look, we're gonna pick your whole staff. You ain't good enough.
Take Ty Lue.
Yeah, LeBron. Hey, like you said, this is all orchestrated by LeBron. So hey, gotta eat that crow.
Magic was like, hey man, y'all could have had DeRozan. He was like, I guarantee y'all be in the playoffs by now.
Dude,
he was like, nah, you wanted Westbrook.
That scenery out there with old Jeannie Buss, she basically then said, like, look, LeBron, I don't know what you're trying to run, but you ain't. I know you want the NBA team, but you ain't getting this one. So we about to start shaking. We about to start shaking it up.
And guess what? They can't even. There's nothing they can do. Nobody wants Westbrook. He got to come back next year. Anthony Davis, they under contract. He got to come back next year. LeBron got one more deal. He got to come back next year. So they got to bring that squad back with a new coach. What they going to do different? They're going to stink.
You got to get somebody in there that got some hair on their chest that's going to deal with them foods. That's what that boiled down to. You can't get nobody coming there that's going to be bowing down, being a yes man. You got to get somebody in there like, look, this is my motherfucking locker room, and it's going to go down the way I want it to go down.
No, LeBron is the coach killer, bro.
Man, look,
it's not going to happen.
I'm telling you, Jeannie Buss and them cats in that front office and already put the concrete down like, look, we know you want to get you an NBA team, LeBron, but you ain't getting this one, and you going to conform whether you like it or not. Because the Magic on the boat right now, and they put, I guarantee they didn't have to talk to that cat behind closed doors.
Man.
Magic ain't running a break right now. Magic sitting on a bench. LeBron is coming down playing. Where LeBron's the one hosting up the ball. You gonna have to do what he already put it in his hand.
We gonna see. So let's switch over to one more quick thing. Let's get to old Jackie Robinson, his 75th anniversary. We have the players from the MLB. They decided for this particular special day in history for him breaking the color barrier. the majority of the players in the league are donating a day's salary, the full portion, the partial portion, to go to help struggling inner city rural baseball teams out with equipment, building their fields up, helping them out with all kind of, getting cleats and uniforms. So it was a big day in baseball yesterday. They named a street up in New York for, I don't know how long it's going to be. They're calling it the Jackie Robinson Way. So it was a special day in baseball. A lot of players wore his number 42. Certain players, rep the special cleats. And baseball, they did it the right way yesterday, and I have to give them a thumbs up on the giving Jackie Robinson his due.
Don't every player in the league wear his number on his day every year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. That's good.
They should do that. They should do it for a whole week.
I say for the whole month, but shit,
right.
What I know.
Not just one day. They should. I mean, come on, bro. He broke the color barrier. Come on.
Yeah. So it was a big day in that world of baseball. So it was done right. Now I was watching ESPN this morning. They really did it up right. Ken Griffey was out there talking about how he paved the way, and he couldn't imagine what hell he had to go through on a daily basis, to get to play the game of baseball. So he really gave him much love, saying, man, I couldn't have fathomed what you was going through, and I appreciate you not having me having to deal with this type of circumstances back when he was doing everything for the people of color.
Ken Griffey should be speaking of Ken Griffey, he should be the home run leader. That dude had the prettiest swing I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That dude should be the home run leader. He didn't take any steroids, as far as I know. He didn't do it the wrong way. Man, that dude, man, he should have been the home run leader. Except he got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Did he have injury? When he got to Cincinnati, he got hurt, right?
Yeah, he was kind of fizzling out when he got down to Cincinnati.
He missed the whole juice ball era too. You know what I mean, man? Them dudes juicing and the ball was juice. It was double juice.
Yeah, well, I hope they triple juice and don't let none of them into the hall. Hope all of them go down. Don't let none of them in.
You don't think any of them should be in the hall?
Nope.
Nah. You gotta do it the right way, man. You can't.
Barry Bonds? No.
Nope. How you go from being a pencil and you end up looking like a linebacker at the end of your damn career? No.
Sammy Sosa?
Steroids a dude into a white person.
Hey, they keeping Clemens. Roger Clemens is out too, right? He ain't gonna make it. Right.
Anybody that's even sniffing that air, that even got a syringe in their booty, ain't getting in the Hall of Fame.
So then Alex Rodriguez, who do steroids too?
Oh yeah, he
ain't getting in.
Yeah, I'll give him. That's one thing I can say about them cats that vote on that baseball Hall of Fame. They stern on that. If you was juicing, you ain't getting in. If old Sweet Pete can't get in off a couple bets, then guess what? Sweet Pete, hey, he was just having a night out with the boys and put down a couple bets here and there. Ain't hurt nobody.
It's like heck no. Hey, speaking of that. Kelz, I don't know if y'all brought this up earlier, man. That doggone Daniel Snyder is a dirty cat too.
Oh,
he's out of there. He's out of there.
He got to go. I mean, what
he's out of there.
Worse than anything he ever did.
Yes. He even taking the gate money now. He supposed to be giving up money to the. He supposed to be spreading the money to the other owners. He pocketing that money too. He's like, I ain't giving y'all nothing. Yeah. He's like, catch me if you can. I'm the gingerbread man. I'm taking all the money. He's taking the money. I got a scandal.
Man,
he's out of there. He's gonna lose that team.
These cats is off the chain. Off the chain.
Speaking of football, hey, Gooch, I got a question for you. Since you the Browns, man, what you think about Baker saying he was disrespected this week?
Oh boy.
Hey man, listen. I'm saying, you know what? I've been holding my tongue. I ain't cursed yet. I ain't had a reason to curse. But F. Baker Mayfield, You know what I mean? I ain't think about this stupid ass. He told him to be quiet and sit up there and did some little stupid ass podcast. One of his best friends that got loose was like, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all how I really feel. I feel disrespected. And they simply like, look, dog, that's how the NFL work. I can't stand him, dog. I can't stand it.
He is making it worse.
His wife orchestrated all that shit. That's why he at where he at now. His wife orchestrated that dumbass message he sent.
He's making it worse on himself, man. Just
ain't
shut
nobody
up.
fooling with him, man. Ain't nobody fooling with him.
Ain't nobody
I don't care.
to
go get a quarterback that's 45 years old. I would not fool with him.
If I was the Browns, I wouldn't trade him. I would let him sit there behind the Watson and Jacoby, and on the bench. And who's the other quarterback?
Dog.
He would be fourth string. I would not even trade him. I would let him sit there all year.
Yeah.
Because even if Deshaun might not play, you know you got Jacoby. That's why they got Jacoby. And I would let him sit there. Yep. The third string quarterback would have to get hurt. And even if he got hurt, I would find the punter to come in and run quarterback before he get on the field. I would let him sit there. I would let him sit there all year and think about it. Because the Browns don't have to trade him.
No.
They ain't got to do nothing.
Hey, I don't know if y'all saw this. So he was talking all this trash, talking about, hey, man, I might end up in Carolina. Robbie Anderson was like, don't you come here.
Robbie Anderson said no.
Yep, they said they already scratched him off the podium. They basically took a chisel and chiseled his name. They ain't put.
Didn't he say he's supposed to be like going to Seattle? Didn't he say like Seattle is his top choice?
And Seattle went inside the quarterback like this week. Ain't nobody messing with him.
Nobody doing nothing with him, man.
He would sit there. I got to pay him $19 million where he stays or goes.
Yeah.
He would sit there the whole year behind the fourth-string quarterback. He would be on the practice squad. He would just be giving me getting water. He would be doing
shit out of him. I work the shit out of him.
And he's still on the team.
I'll be having tackles, missing blocks. Go get him, boys, and just plow him.
And he's still on the team, so technically, if he doesn't report to camp, he gets fined.
Taking the money. You getting your money back.
That's right.
He gets fined. I would let him not report and check his check every week.
Oh, yeah.
For his dumbass shit that he's doing right now. He's a dummy.
Yep.
Shut up.
Yep. All you gotta do is keep your mouth shut. And you could have been moved weeks ago if you'd have kept your mouth shut.
Bro, Gooch, check this out. How many people you know that has a job that you can get fired from and you still get paid? I'll lose my job tomorrow. I ain't getting paid. He's still getting $19 million. Shut up.
Yep.
Shut up.
He's still making more than half of the doggone players in the league. I was probably more than that.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes.
More.
He's such a narcissist, dog, that he can't handle somebody looking and you underachieved or you wasn't good or great. He got to defend everything.
Narcissist, that's the perfect way to. That's perfect. He is terrible. Shut up, man. You lost your job, you got fired, and you still getting paid. Shut up.
Yep. But trust me, like you said, Troy, he gonna burn himself. He gonna start getting that money yanked out his pocket. So, cause
I would keep him. If I would keep him on that bench on a 4-string the whole year.
Oh yeah, but
he won't report. You know he won't report. I would check that money in.
Well,
check that money in.
There's some gamesmanship going on with the owners. You know what I mean? They know the Browns in a bad place with him. And they like, when he picking that money up, y'all just going to have to go ahead and pay him. Y'all going to lose money. And they mad because they gave Deshaun a guaranteed contract. So there's some other stuff going on in the background. But for him, he the recipient of all that stuff. that the owners are playing all them games, he the one's going to end up being left out.
Yep.
And that's bad at how bad his reputation is around the league. You ain't won it in Carolina? Carolina? Robbie Anderson, a fourth-string wide receiver, said, I don't even want you on my team? Who's the quarterback in Carolina? Old dude from USC. What's his name?
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback?
Is it Darnold?
Aaron Donald. No, not Aaron Donald. Darnold.
Yeah, that's
you can't you can't get the job over him, and the players are already saying no. We don't want you. You are terrible.
Yep. But he brought that shit on himself. So he'll figure it out. If he ain't got enough sense to show up for that camp, like you said, rape them pockets. Get as much money back as you can if possible.
What was the other quarterback that Cleveland got from Texas A&M? What was his name? Manziel?
Yeah.
Manziel? Oh, he on that level right there for me. He's terrible.
Mm. All right, fellas, we're going to do our community real quick. This one here, man, it's a guy out in Arizona named Michael Patrick. He was arrested on 94 counts of animal endangerment. They found 183 frozen animals in his freezer.
Huh?
Yeah, they found 183 frozen animals in his freezer, and some were placed in there while they were still alive.
Oh, he the Jeffrey Dahmer of animals? Are you serious?
183.
Hey, that dude, he might get capital punishment. You know, people don't play with their animals, bro.
Yeah, they gave him 94 counts. He had birds, dogs, lizards, mice, snakes, turtles, rabbits, rats. So he had a pretty good gauntlet frozen up in there. Now, what he was doing with them, I couldn't tell you.
He is at least going to get life. At least.
94 counts? Oh, yeah.
At least. I would not be surprised if they don't say capital murder. You can't be doing that stuff to animals these days, bro. You can't do that. They should learn from Michael Vick. Can't do that, man.
Yeah, deep freezer, full of them, 183. Just he said he was putting them in there while they were still alive.
Who are these people?
Well, take a wild guess on the pigmentation, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And then my next one, you guys gonna love this one. For money man Floyd Mayweather. He is challenging any team in the NFL to pick up Antonio Brown, and he will pay them $20 million. If he messes up, does anything stupid, get thrown off the team, he will pay the NFL team owner $20 million. But if he makes it through the season, the team got to pay him $20 million. If you're the GM, are you biting on this deal?
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
Who can trust Antonio Brown? That dude took his clothes off and left the field.
That actually sounds like a backdoor deal that Antonio Brown and Floyd Mayweather got together. Like, look, I'll just go through training camp and I'll get kicked off and we can just split that 20.
He got to make it through the season. For him to get the $20 million, he got to go through the whole season. But if he get kicked off, Mayweather got to pay the NFL team $20 million.
This is the question: do you ever think Antonio Brown is going to play football again?
No.
Seriously,
I think somebody gonna try. I think when it get down to injuries, maybe I think somebody gonna try. I really do.
Would you rather see him on the Bengals?
Ooh, no. No.
With that wide receiver squad y'all got, he'd be up there corrupting everybody.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, Higgins, Chase, they all be out.
I think he would send. Chase. I think he would make him. I think he would turn him into the next Antonio Brown. I think he would really get that dude unplugged, because I know he would probably have them out clowning some damn where. He looked like he already off the hook anyway. But yeah, that would be a bad influence.
There's always a coach out there that thinks that they can change somebody. He will get picked up.
Yeah, I think somebody gonna try him. I really do.
I'm gonna throw some history at y'all. People who have quit in the middle of a match or a game have never came back. I will go back to the No Mas with Roberto Duran. That was the last time we saw him fight. And then a couple years ago, the one dude played for who did he play for? I don't know if he played for the Jets or the Bills. Quit at halftime. We ain't never seen him again. All right. Oliver McCall started crying.
Who quit at halftime?
Huh?
Who quit at halftime for the Bills?
I can't think of his name. I'll give it to you in a second. Oliver McCall started crying during the middle of a boxing match. We have never seen Oliver McCall box again. Antonio Brown, he's in the middle of a football game taking his clothes off. We will not see him on the field again.
Hey, you never know, Gooch. USFL about to start up. XFL, they working on that, so
that's possible.
Never know.
Now I got
so Bob, you think that he gonna get picked up by somebody?
I really think somebody gonna fuck with. I'm telling you, somebody gonna be. And I wouldn't be surprised if crazy ass Jerry Jones wouldn't be a fool enough to do it.
All right, Kelz, I got something for you and Troy.
Okay.
You got a better opportunity. Antonio Brown getting the job or Colin Kaepernick getting the job?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown.
Got to get myself on that one.
Antonio Brown. That's easy.
That's why we're in a jacked up world right now, dog. Really, I ain't being funny. That last story you told me about some jacked up person. We got somebody who ain't did nothing wrong. We got a fool who left the field. And the other dude who ain't did nothing wrong ain't ever getting a job. This is some jacked up stuff.
You don't want to be that team to pick him up.
Comes down to the good old boys. That's what that is. That's all that's about. And it's a damn shame. But I keep saying, I don't know why he don't go get on with the US.
He's not going to do it.
And go that route. I don't understand why he don't do it.
He's not going to do it. That's a step back for him.
Understand that. You running around here throwing that halftime at Michigan, man, go get on with one of them USFL teams.
He feels like he's a pro quarterback, and technically, he is.
Well, dude, you got to rebuild your resume somewhere, man. The halftime shows at Michigan Stadium ain't gonna cut it.
He can go to somebody's training camp. He just got to get offered to go to somebody's training camp. He can rebuild his resume. Think of all the backup quarterbacks out there. I can barely name them. You think he can't be a backup?
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
To a Super Bowl.
I'll take him in Cincinnati right now.
Gooch, who's the third string quarterback for the Browns?
Josh Dobbs.
So, Josh Dobbs or Colin Kaepernick?
I'm taking
he could be. Just think, they had Deshaun Watson, Brissett, Kaepernick, and Dobbs. The Dobbs, he played for Oregon, right? He was in Pittsburgh. He was from Pittsburgh for a while, wasn't he?
Josh Dobbs played for Tennessee.
Tennessee, but didn't he play for Pittsburgh too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Hey, he's a flat out athlete. That dude, he got game.
I remember him.
I would give Kaepernick the ball before I give Dobbs the ball any day of the week.
Man.
Just think about the Giants.
Colin Kaepernick in Cincinnati right now.
Who's your backup quarterback, bud?
Oh God, Brandon Allen and Jake Brown, and I couldn't tell you 3 cents about either one of them.
And Kaepernick can't get on over them. They're never going to put him on a roster ever.
That's
just like Goose said, he took a team to the Super Bowl.
Right. But Antonio get a job and he can't. You know what, man? That's some jacked up stuff. And Bob, you know what? He probably will get a job.
I'm telling you, somebody gonna squeak him in there. I'm telling you.
Who, Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
He will. He will. Because there's some coach out there that think that they can change it.
I don't
Put him on
know,
the
man.
field.
But Gooch, I agree with you on that. That synopsis you gave, man. Brown and him, but it's a sad thing you picking Brown.
Hey, he's not gonna go to the USFL.
Well, that's where he need to go.
Not gonna go because I feel like that's a step back for him.
Well, if you're gonna let your pride shoot you in the head, then buddy.
He didn't do nothing to lose his job.
No, but he just upset the good old boys. That's all it is. He just upset the good old boy. And that's a shame. But
well, that's a damn shame. He ain't gonna see the field ever again in life. But Antonio Brown will see it before
Brown will
him.
be back out there. Well, fellas, I'm gonna say this, man. It's been a pleasure. We did another big Saturday. I appreciate y'all taking the time as always and bringing it from a fan perspective. And think Gooch, you got next week, and then Troy, you up after that.
All right, man. I can't wait. We're looking forward to it. We're gonna extend some of the topics from this week into next week. We got NBA playoffs going on. We got the NFL draft.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a really good topic. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of trades. We might still be talking about Baker Mayfield not having a job.
Yeah.
We will, because nobody wants him.
And I want to get into some boxing.
Okay.
I want to get into some boxing, man. Let's pick some boxing back up. We got a going on tonight on Showtime, if you guys have access to it. But I'm looking forward to all of that.
What time is on tonight?
Who boxing tonight?
Y'all asked me for names, man. It's actually been a kind of a publicized fight. It's supposed to be a decent match.
Okay.
But,
I know it's this old boy who's in Floyd's camp. Dude, the little light-skinned dude in Floyd's camp. Oh, I forget his name. Little light-skinned dude, little short dude. He undefeated though. I know who you're talking about. He's on tonight.
Yeah, but yep. So we got a fight tonight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week, fellas.
Okay, Showtime boxing. Let's see.
It's old boy that's in Floyd's camp, little light-skinned dude. I forgot his name. Beast though. He from Maryland. He from DC.
Let's see if this will come up. Shoot. Okay, it's switching me over to Twitter. Let's see.
And I think Tyson Fury fight next week.
Oh, really?
In London.
Hey, Troy, it's a good time to bring some boxing up since we got a couple decent fights coming up. I actually miss
That's one of my favorite sports, bro.
Yeah.
After Tyson Fury, I think he fight in London next week.
Okay, Troy. I think it's some dude named Earl Spence Jr.
I think it's Giavante.
Is it Earl Spence Jr.?
Not Earl Spence. I think his name is Giavante.
Okay, because this one on Showtime is at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. It's the main event is Earl Spence Jr. versus Yargis UGAS.
Well, that means Javante. I think it's Javante Davis. I think
welterweight.
I think he fights the following week. Okay, he might fight the following week.
Errol Spence can go.
Yes,
he can go. I know that.
Okay, well, I'll try to check that out then. Shoot. Well, fellas, I appreciate
y'all think Wilder gonna come back? You think he done?
Who?
Wilder.
Yeah.
Wilder. Man. Yeah, nobody wants to see him no more.
He only lost 2 fights to the same dude.
And Wilder, until he can learn to get a good jab and just quit trying to knock you out every swing, it ain't gonna happen for him.
I ain't heard from him.
And he
ain't had no undercards. He ain't had no other fights.
And he probably somewhere on a fishing boat having some good time with some gumbo.
That's one dude that does not know how to box and just learns how to slug and got this far until he got up to somebody who knew how to box.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury, y'all can say what y'all want about him. That dude knows the sweet science.
Box. He knows how to box.
He can box.
next week for
And
sure.
that's what it was. Deontay Wilder, he just ain't going. He just can't box. He's just a slugger.
Yeah.
And he can't go in there try to throw haymakers. And old dude, he was eating him up.
All right, fellas, I'm about to kill this stream because my juice is about at the donut. Now,
I gotta go pick a flight.
Taking the time out, joining the Sports Wine and Brew segment podcast. See y'all next week, Gooch. Looking forward to a good string of activities to talk about next week. So let's make it happen. You fellas have a good day.
Hey, I'm about to put that Mark Jackson stuff on the group text here in 1 second.
Oh, please do. Please do so I can get a good laugh.
All right, gentlemen, I'm out.
All right, man.
All right.
Take it easy.